Hi. I've got something on my hand. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Masterclass number 2, which is called the 4M model for book content. Right? The name is self-explanatory. We are going real deep into models, into how to organize your information in a way that makes it really easy for, first of all, yourself to write the book and finish it, and really back the book till the end to, be proud of it and own the work that you have put out there, that you're about to put out there. And for your readers to get the message really, really clearly. So while we are at it, I'm just going to quickly share it in a group. Yeah, that's right. Alrighty. So it's all shared. And hey, if you're watching me live, please say hello in the comments, because, as you know, when you're doing a live, it's always good to have a human on the other side. But if you're catching up the replay, please put in the comments #replay, and don't forget to jot down the key nuggets, anything that's important for you to remember. Which is just like, instant note taking, so you don't have to rewatch the whole video. Okay. Now, you care about this and why you should attend this class. If you're lost in a ton of ideas and you have been playing with 100 different ways of what to put in your book and what to remove from it, how to structure information, how to make your book most relevant for your reader, and maybe you're also constantly wondering who will read my book, or why will anyone read my book, right? Then this video is for you. Okay. Also, if you have a coaching practice that is not systemized yet, so when you're doing coaching sessions, be it one-on-one or group, you're taking every group, as they come, and you don't have an established IP or a unique formula or a signature system that makes you stand out from the sea of coaches, right? That is what we are, that is why this matters to you. If it's time for you to have your own IP, your own signature system, right? Right. So what next? First of all, let's talk a little bit about why models are important, right? And what is a model? A model is basically a plan. I'm just going to have a sip of my chai from my portable thermos cup. So if you fail to plan, you're essentially planning to fail, right? And that's the worst thing you can do for your business, right? So also what happens is, without a proper plan or a proper model in place, authors tend to wander aimlessly, with their manuscript. Like, okay, how much more I write? And then they keep getting new ideas every single day, and they're like, oh, I need to add this to the book. Oh, and I need to add this to the book. Oh, but then now that one is irrelevant. I need to remove that from the book. So what it does is, it leaves you playing in circles and highly increases your tendency or your probability to quit, because the end is not in sight, because you have no idea, you cannot lay out a roadmap of your writing journey. Hey Simone, so good to see you. I'm so glad you were able to join live. So yeah, what I was talking about is, authors, they lose patience in the absence of a proper structure, and because the end is not in sight, and they're like, okay, where did I begin? Where did I finish? I don't know when is this book happening. I don't know how the hell to finish it, right? And this puts you at risk of stopping 3 feet from gold. So, if you remember the very powerful, very impactful, very painful story from the book Think and Grow Rich, hey Simon, if you remember that story where uh, a miner who was, he had found a vein of gold and he like got really rich. But then there came a point where they kept digging and digging and digging and the gold was no more there. And they thought they had lost the vein, and they thought that that was the end of it. But because they did it without proper consultation, without expert consultation, and because not have reference to a map, or yeah, that they did not refer to what can I say, a proven system about mining, they actually stopped 3 feet from gold. They were literally 3 feet from picking up that gold vein again, right? And yeah, so that's, that you don't want that. You might just be so close to the finish, but you will never know if you don't have a plan laid out. That's why a model is so important. And like I've said it before, without your book, even in your business, there are so many coaches who coach on nutrition, or who are grief coaches, who are art therapists, or you name any niche, right? What makes you different from the others? Why will someone come to you, right? So laying out a model helps you uh, distinguish, like differentiate, make yourself unique that way. Also, the benefit is that it helps, think about it, in your target market, even though you have a very precise target market, very specific avatar that you are catering to, the same avatar has different kinds of learners. So there are visual learners, kinesthetic learners, auditory learners, and auditory digital learners, right? Now, what having a model does for you is it gives them the certainty that she knows, first of all, she knows what she's doing. Like, she has the start and the end in mind, and she knows how she's taking me on this journey. She has a map, and it also helps them consume your information or your methodology in a way that they get. So a visual learner might look at your triangle diagram and say, oh, that's how you operate. So, a triangle typically reminds me of like a classic example, because I've done a lot of clinical research work in my past, in my like earlier career. And I was working in the field of diabetes research. So the classic, therapy recommended prescription for diabetes is diet, medicine, and exercise. There's always a triangle: diet, medicine, and exercise. So, it just like I have not worked in clinical research for maybe 6 or 7 years now, or had got nothing to do with diabetes, but I remember that information. So that's a demonstration of retention. Like having a model will help people retain your message and your methodology. And when someone's talking about you to a third person, they'll be like, okay, hey, Simone does it this way, so she has a 3 C's methodology, or she has a 4M methodology, whatever. Like, this is what she believes in, this is how she operates, these are the important pillars for her. Like, for me, it's the four emphasis. It's message, model, mission, miracles, right? So, yeah, as well as, so what happens when people retain information? They can infer from it. They will an inference. They will summarize it. Like, all these diabetes education charts that I did read, I don't remember any of the words on those text documents. But what I just remember is those three key points. And I can make enough good meaning out of it, which will serve me or hopefully never, or, another person in need, right? So that's what you want to do. You don't want people to, we're writing a book, of course, for those who love to read, but we don't want to put the burden option on the reader. We want to make it as easy and as crisp for them to consume the information and to infer from it and to deduce, like deduct, that they can, a message that they can keep with them for forever, like for much longer, right? So basically it gives them the big picture, the key steps, and as well as, a beautiful metaphor that's coming to my mind right now is, it takes a fool to complicate things, and only a wise person can simple, right? So having a clear model, um, will convey to people, that yes, you have it simplistically laid out in your head and on paper, right? So I'm just gonna pause and check in, Simone, because I'm assuming you are live right now. Is this relevant? How is this adding value? Like, uh, is this something that you find yourself struggling with? I want to make it a conversation rather than, just talking at you while you're here. So I think there's a bit of a time lag. I'm going to wait for a few seconds. Simon, I'm assuming you're here, but anyways, let's keep going. I'm waiting for your response. If you're here, that is, if you did get the question, like, how's the stuff that I'm talking about relevant to you so far? And isn't that the thing stopping you the most in your business? Yes, you want to write a book, but while you're writing oh yes, thank you. So there's quite a big time gap. So Simone says she's finding it very relevant. Thank you. So let's keep going then, okay? Now, what's involved in creating a model? Creating a model, here's what you need to ask yourself. How do I help my, like, what's the biggest challenge of my client right now? Okay, so they are at, let me use this hand, okay? They are at point A, and here they are stuck and miserable, okay? And yeah, they are stuck, they don't have the answers, they're feeling really hopeless, helpless. And then you come in and you say, hey, okay, you're stuck. I'm just going to give you these 5 steps. These things are the ones that are most important. They're going to turn your life around in whatever area, in health, weight loss, fitness, mindfulness, you name it, right? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is point B, right? So how do you take your clients from point A to point B? And what are the steps in between, right? And of course, like, if you map it out in absolute detail, there might be like 60, tiny things that you're doing. There might be 50 to 60 steps, or, but that's like the operational bits. But what are the key pillars under which they fall, right? And for me, I'm going to bring in my model again and again because, my model is so universal. It fits beautifully and it actually drives any model that you bring, right? So when we mix my model with your model, it brings out your book, right? So my model has 4 pillars. Yes, kind of like chunking it down, absolutely. So you chunk it down and then categorize it. So chunk it down and chunk it up a little bit more. So, it's like you're writing all the 1 to 100 steps, Simon, and then you say, okay, this 1 to 10, they are actually the first category of 1 to 10. Then the 11 to 20, they actually are a certain category where it's 11 to 20, and then there's this category. So basically you're chunking them down and then you're categorizing them, making buckets out of them, right? And then those categories, again, you don't want a ton of categories. You want to keep your model really crisp, so 4, 5, 7 at the most, like 10 will be too much. So you need a pathway and you need a diagram, like a visual representation, right? And for which all you need is basic geometry, right? What I mean by that is just go back to the basic shapes that you learned as a toddler, like a star. Oh, sorry, yeah, a star, a circle, a square, and what am I missing? Square, star, circle, triangle, right? So just these basic shapes, if you think there are 5 pillars, then go for a star. If you think, or 6, or a 6-point star. If you think, well, you might have 12, if there are 12 sequential steps. If you've heard of the Alcoholics Anonymous, that institution, they came up with a 12-step system, 12-step journey, right? And this 12-step journey now has been so universally recognized globally that Debtors Anonymous, Addict Anonymous, Alcoholic Anonymous, all these organizations, they are using the same 12-step system, right? So yes, it could have a 12, your model could have 12 steps as well. And, then I would plot it on a clock, maybe. Yeah, okay. So another important aspect is to determine whether your work has a sequence or not, right? So my work, my model, I would say it does have a sequence. It may and may not have a sequence actually, but as long as you I think it has a sequence. Let's go with that. So if you just start modelizing your work without having the message clear, then you're going to just again go back in circles, go around in circles. So make sure that you start with clarifying your message. Like in working with me and bringing your book out, we will first work on clarifying your message. Then we will put a model to the message, that this is the model that conveys your message best. Then we are going to get into the mission, which is the doing, which is the actual writing and elaborating the book, right? And once we're done with those steps, that's when we're getting into miracles, which is manifesting the results, mobilizing profit, right? Sales, the thing that you're in business for, right? So, yeah. Now, let me actually dive, I've shared so much. I want to get a little bit advanced, and I wanted to talk about the 4 types of energies in a bit more detail, right? the 4 types of energies and why the model that I have chosen, which is the message, model, mission, miracles, makes your book so complete that it's talking to all types of energies. Like, no matter, I know, as I said earlier, you have your avatar identified, but still that avatar might have different people in your avatar bundle might have different energies or different styles of learning. But the model that I work with actually, accommodates all of them, right? So the 4 types of energies are that of, and this is getting a bit advanced, so I'm going to type it for your benefit. Divergers and the assimilators. It's working really low, so bear with me. Divergers, assimilators, convergers, and accommodators, right? So yes, I can do an entire masterclass on each one of these energies. These are, such great energies. So let's about the first one, right? The message and how that relates to the divergers energy, right? So the divergers are, as the word suggests, when everyone's walking in a line, the divergers want to go wide. They're like, oh, let me explore here, let me explore there. They are the like big picture thinkers. They're like, oh, let me just take complete stock of the entire landscape. Let me just, they cannot, they don't have short-sighted vision. They have, what can I say? Yeah, long-sighted vision or further vision, like, they have really wide vision. And they like to ask the question, why? Why? What will happen if we don't do this? If I, if someone's a divergent thinker or a diverger, and you tell them, hey, you must not waste water, they're going to ask you why. What happens? What will happen if I waste water? What will happen if I don't waste water? So they like to ask why. Yeah, that is their favorite question. And they like to induct the topic, right? If we're talking about massage, then there's all the possibility that they're going to say, hey, yeah, massage works well, but have you tried Reiki as well? Have you tried this? Have you tried that? And they're just going to bring everything under the umbrella, and it's going to be one whole wellness fest, right? So to keep them on point, you have to highlight the benefits, right? Yeah. To keep them on point, you have to tell them, answer the question why this matters, why we have to stick to the topic, why do we care enough to write a book on this topic, right? Yep. Is it making sense, or is it getting too complex? I think you can. Hi, Shweta. Hey, Shweta, I think you're in Adelaide. It's, we must catch up. It'll be a nice thing to catch up. That is, if you're in Adelaide. I think so. You are in Adelaide. I'll message you after the video. Okay. So that was about divergers. Let's come to the next energy, which is yeah. Let me talk about the message and and divergers. So by the message, in the message pillar, what we're doing is we are actually nailing your central message and nailing your central idea, which is, we're saying, we're really getting clear on your intention as well in writing the book, getting really clear that you're not writing this book out of any external pressure, any peer pressure, or just for the sake of following a market trend. So we want to be really sure that you care with all your heart for this topic, so you can be firm enough to hold the diverger's attention and satisfy their curiosities as to why this matters, right? So that's the message pillar and the divergers. The second thing, the second pillar is my model, which is the whole masterclass today. That's what it is about, right? I did a, if you're keen, please explore last Wednesday, you will find a masterclass about the messaging and the 6 beliefs for, an author. So coming to the second pillar, the model, the corresponding energy is assimilators, right? Now, what is the model doing? As I've told you, the model is just a very crisp representation of the message, right? So my message is, share your story matters, write a book, own your worth, be the authority, grow your business. All these are my messages. Be an intentional author, write your book, all those things. You've heard that, right? How the hell do I do it? Tell me, Shilpa, what's involved, right? That's what an assimilator will ask me. So an assimilator will say, okay, okay, let's get to work, tell me what are the key categories. Let me just visualize. Let me just, yeah, they're quite visual. They're extremely visual. And they need to see the what, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay. So what's involved, Shilpa? Like, okay, you need to clarify your message. Then you need to clarify your model. Then you need to get into action and do your mission work. And then you need to, enjoy the benefits, the money, the miracles, the fame, the rewards, everything, and the freedom and everything that you wanted, miracles basically. So an assimilator is, like assimilation, the word reminds me of 6th or 7th standard science, biology, where we studied the word assimilation. Assimilation is basically breaking down. The food that you eat gets broken down into smaller particles and consumed and, like processed. So an assimilator is basically a processor. He says, okay, show me the process. Show me the process. Yeah. So that's an assimilator. And their favorite question is, if you've not guessed it yet, it's what. So what's involved, Shilpa? Okay, I'm willing to do it, or okay, I've heard you enough. Now tell me what's involved. So they just need the, an helicopter ride. Yeah, that's what they need. And then they'll kind of, decide whether or not to do it. That's how they take decisions. The next pillar, my next pillar is mission, right? Mission. And a lot of people confuse mission with, woo-woo wordy statements. I want to help 1 million people. I have the mission to empower everybody. Yes, that is a mission statement. But for me, mission is a very active word. Like, if I'm on a mission, I will run. So mission, by mission, I mean movement or momentum, right? So actually movement, then momentum. When you start movement, that's when, hey, thank you, Maria. When you start movement, that's when you get momentum. So how amazing is my setup, right? Very apt. Talking about writing books in a library. So that's, yeah. So the third kind of energy that corresponds to my mission pillar are called convergers, right? What does a converger do? So basically it's like, it brings people from, it's like a fun, it's bringing people from everywhere, from far and wide, and narrowing them down into files, So hey Kylie, so good to see you. Yeah, so good. So what does a converger do? A converger basically brings broad topics down to earth, and they're like, okay, let's get to doing, very, very hands-on energy, very hands-on person, very action oriented, wants to act, wants to implement, wants to, yeah, basically it's the energy of a converger. And that's what the mission pillar stands for. right? Yeah, what was I going to say? So I did make broad notes, but I just, there was something I was going to say about this. Really? Can you still hear me, guys? I don't think so, because I see that it's trying to reconnect. I just hope it comes back. Otherwise, there's going to be part 2. Oh, I'm live. Okay, good, good, good. Okay, I'm live. Anyways, I can see my screen has like grayed out a little bit, and the wheel is constantly kind of going round in front of me. It's saying trying to reconnect. I'm going to ignore that because I just checked on my phone. I'm still live. So thank you for still staying on, guys. Okay, so we're done with the third energy pretty much. It's basically about action, right? It's basically about saying, okay, you told me, you've given me, I've seen the why this matters. You've shown me the categories. I would love to get my hands dirty and do it. Show me the steps. Show me the micro steps. So that's how a converger works. They just converge broad information, bring it down to earth, down to earth. Yeah. Where the rubber meets the road, metaphorically, like literally, yeah, taking off. So that's the converger energy. And now the last but not the least, very, very kind, very, very curious, and very accommodative energy for miracles is the accommodator energy, right? So I'm actually going to keep my phone in front of me on low volume, so at least I can be assured that I am live. Yes, I am live. It's funny, I can still see on my screen that it's trying to reconnect. All right, so about miracles and how that corresponds with the accommodator energy, okay? Now, what do I mean by miracles, okay? By miracles, I really mean all the things for which you wrote the book in the first place, right? So you've done enough hard work by now if you've successfully completed the mission stage, which means you've written the book, right? Written the book, edited, it's out, or it's about to be out, or you're ready to launch it. So in the miracle stage, this is where, and I love it. I love to call people the best miracles on the planet, right? So, and I refer to this quote all the time. Just like it takes a village to raise a child, it takes a village to do everything, even to write a book, even to spread the message, even to spread the word out there. And we would be a fool if we operated from a place of our ego, thinking that, yes, all I need is within me now. I am enough, and all that is great. But this is the why, this is the big picture. But now when it's time to bring it down to earth, we need to tap into our assimilator energy and our convergent energy, right? And sometimes, as much as we assimilate, as much as we categorize, and as much as we want to act, Some things need a helping hand to finish that, that task. So, by miracles, there is, yeah. So when it comes to miracles, yeah, when it comes to miracles, um, I mean revenue, monetization, getting clients, sales conversations, making money, right? And visibility, credibility, profitability, right? Unless you're seen, people will not be able to trust you. And unless they trust you, they're not going to be able to pay you, right? So that's the main purpose why you wrote the book, because you wanted to really launch your authority, present it to the world, and share your gifts with the world. It's not about proving anything to anyone. It's about saying, look, I have this gift and I want to share it with you. So by miracles, I'm we're going to dig like a lot deeper into this in the next class. So in the next week, we are doing a whole class on the mission pillar. And then the following Wednesday, we're doing a whole class, a complete class on miracles, right? I'm just going to have a sip of water. So by miracles, I mean, you have been marketing, you have written your book. Now it's all about tapping into the people who can help you spread the word far and wide, right? And by that I mean who can give you their stage. Like that's the crisp question. It could be a guest blogging opportunity, it could be a author talk opportunity, it could be a podcast, it could be blogging, it could be a JV. There are so many ways. It could be an interview, it could be a Facebook Live interview, uh, you know. So now in the miracles phase is your turn. Of course, we have started with the belief that we're going to be very, very intentional in the whole book writing exercise and the whole journey of book writing. But in the miracles phase is where you strengthen your belief even more if there's any wobbles. And every single day, you operate from a space of knowing that you are you are good enough, and people need your work, and people love your work, and people want to support you, right? That it's a benevolent universe. And when you operate from that space, yeah, people just want to help you more and more, right? So that is it, really. I don't want to go a lot deeper into the miracles right now, because we're going to have a whole class, complete class. I don't know if the word whole is correct, but we're going to run a class entirely on miracles the next to next Wednesday. So if you are here, I see there are 2 people live right now. If you have any questions, please pop them in here and I would, of course, answer them. If you know of anyone who would benefit from this class, please share it. If you have benefited from this class right now, I would love to hear what have you learned? Even a short, whatever, testimonial. And that's it. And if you're curious, if you'd like to get on a chat with me and see how we can bring your book out together, then just say the word, just private message me, and we will just have a chat to see what's going on for you. Okay, that's it for now, guys. I have loved having you. Thank you for your support. Thanks for joining. And I will come back again, of course, every single day because I'm doing the 365 lives. But I will also come back next Wednesday with an entire class on mission, and that class is going to be so action packed. Like, there's going to be so much work to do, you have no idea. But anyways, see you again tomorrow. Okay, and if you have any questions, comments, compliments, keep them coming in the comment section. Okay, thanks for now. Bye.